My name is Victoria White. I'm 43 years old. It's been 17 years since my husband George left me for another woman, abandoning me and our daughter, Ava. After the shock of his betrayal, I had to raise Ava on my own, working 2 jobs just to make sure she had everything she needed. I sacrificed everything for her. I gave her a life, a future. And for most of those years, I thought I was doing everything right. But then, one day, something happened that turned everything upside down. It all started with a simple statement, a sentence thrown into the air as if it didn't matter. Ava came back from a weekend with her father. My heart had already been heavy, and I could feel something was off. I wasn't prepared for what was coming. She walked into the living room, her eyes avoiding mine. No greeting, no acknowledgement of my presence. And then she said it. "You're not my real mother." The words hit me like a slap. I froze, unable to comprehend. "What did you just say?" I asked, my voice trembling. Ava sighed, her tone dismissive, like she couldn't even be bothered. "I'm just saying, George. He's a better than you. He supports me. He actually understands me. You never really did." I couldn't process it. My whole world felt like it was crashing down in an instant. "George, your father?" I whispered. She nodded, not meeting my eyes. "Yeah. He gets me. He supports me with my dreams. You just want me to study and get good grades all the time. It's like you never let me be who I am." I wanted to say something, anything, but no words came out. How could she do this? After everything I had done for her, all the years I'd sacrificed, this was the thanks I got. But the reality set in. I wasn't her real mother anymore. The woman who'd given birth to her, raised her, loved her, had no place in her heart. The person she now looked up to, the one she believed was the real father figure, was George. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind raced through all the years of late nights, early mornings, and the constant struggle. I gave up everything for her, and now she didn't even see me as her mother. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to do something. I had tried to teach her that actions had consequences, but this was a lesson I never thought I'd have to learn in this way. The next morning, I picked up the phone and made the call. I dialed the school's number, my voice steady, but filled with a quiet resolve. "Hello, I need to withdraw my financial support for my daughter, Ava. She will no longer be attending Westfield Academy." I hung up, the weight of my decision settling over me. I didn't look back. If Ava thought George was her real father, then let him handle it. I'd done everything I could. I'd given her everything, but now she had chosen. Later that afternoon, I listed her car on Carvana, getting $28,000 for it. It wasn't much, but it would cover some of the bills. When Ava came home that evening, she was in tears, her face a mess of anguish. "Mom, why are you doing this? I can't go to a public school. I don't want to lose my friends. Please fix this. I don't want to go to Jefferson High." Her voice cracked as she sobbed, but I stood firm. "You don't need to worry about school anymore, Ava. You said George was your real father. Well, let him pay for your education, your car, your life. I'm done." Ava's face went pale. She was speechless, standing there with tears still falling. But I didn't feel the sympathy I thought I would. She made her choice, and I was done trying to fix everything for her. I didn't respond to any of the texts from George. The messages came in fast and furious, but I didn't care anymore. It wasn't about money or things. It was about respect, and Ava had made it clear she didn't respect me. The next morning, I woke up to even more angry messages. George was threatening legal action, saying I couldn't just take everything away from Ava. But I didn't care. I was done with him too. Ava had made her choice. She had chosen her father, and now it was time for her to learn the consequences of that decision. Later that day, I picked up my phone and called the school to finalize everything. No turning back now. The withdrawal was complete, but it didn't feel like victory. It felt like loss. I watched Ava struggle with the reality of what had just happened, and in that moment, I realized that the person who was hurting the most wasn't just her, it was me. I was the one left to pick up the pieces. I don't know what the future holds for Ava or me, but I know one thing for sure. I can't keep giving and giving if it's not going to be appreciated. Maybe, just maybe, this is the lesson she needed to learn. After I sent Ava that message, I braced myself for what was to come. I knew she'd be upset. Heck, I was upset too. But I wasn't about to back down. I had given her everything, and this was the consequence. She had made her choice, and if she thought George could just step in and fix everything, then let him. I wasn't playing that game anymore. The days that followed felt like a blur. I went through the motions, working, doing errands, trying to keep myself distracted from the ache in my chest. I wanted to hear from her. I wanted her to come to me, to apologize, to understand the magnitude of what she'd done, but she didn't. I didn't get a call, not even a text for days. And honestly, at first, it felt like a relief. I wasn't chasing after her anymore, trying to fix things, trying to make everything okay. But the longer the silence stretched, the more it gnawed at me. Then came the first message from her. It was late on a Tuesday night when my phone buzzed. The screen lit up with Ava's name and my heart dropped. I wasn't sure if I wanted to answer. I wanted to stay strong. I wanted to believe in the decision I had made. But when I read the message, I could feel the wall inside me start to crack. Ava's message. Mom, I messed up. I didn't mean what I said. I was just confused. I was exploring my relationship with Dad, and I didn't think about what I was doing to you. I'm so sorry. Please don't shut me out. I stared at it, feeling a mix of anger and sadness. Why had it taken her this long to realize? Was she just saying this because she was scared of the consequences, or was she truly sorry? I took a deep breath and started typing a reply. My response, Ava, you made your choice. You rejected me. You chose George. Now, you have to live with it. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not going to fix this for you. I need you to understand that. I hit send and put the phone down, letting the silence settle in again. But it didn't feel good. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like a hollow, painful win. The next day, I thought I'd hear from her again, but nothing. It was like she'd vanished into thin air. I went to bed that night thinking maybe she needed more time to process everything, to understand the gravity of what had happened. Maybe she was trying to figure out how to fix it, but by the time the weekend rolled around, I was starting to feel a little more hopeful. Maybe she would come to me, truly wanting to make things right. And then the phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize. I let it ring, waiting for the voicemail. I wasn't in the mood for games, but when I checked it, my heart sank. It was Ava. Her voice was shaky, filled with uncertainty and desperation. Ava's voicemail. Mom, please. I can't do this. I know I hurt you. I was wrong. I was an idiot for saying that. Please don't leave me. I need you more than anything. Please pick up. I'm sorry. I'll do anything. Please. I listened to the message a few times, letting the words sink in. I could hear the rawness in her voice. The same daughter who once looked at me like I could fix everything, who needed me for every scraped knee, every broken heart, was now crying out for me. And it hurt. It hurt because I wanted to run to her, pull her into my arms, and make everything okay. But I knew I couldn't do that. Not anymore. I waited a few hours before calling her back. I needed to be calm. I needed to stay strong. When she picked up, there was a long pause before either of us spoke. Mom, she said, barely above a whisper. I'm here, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. But I'm not going to fix this for you, Ava. She sniffled. I don't expect you to. I just want to fix what I broke. Her words hit me harder than I expected. She wasn't asking for a free pass. She wasn't asking for me to make things go back to how they were. But she was asking for a chance to make it right. But was I ready to give her that chance? I wasn't sure. I still wasn't sure. I need you to understand something, Ava, I said, my voice trembling despite my best efforts to keep it firm. You can't just say these things and expect them to go away. You chose George. You rejected me. And I have to let you learn from that. I'm not here to be your safety net. You have to face the consequences of what you said. I could hear her breathing on the other end of the phone, like she was trying to hold it together. I get it, Mom, I really do. But I don't know what to do now. I don't want to lose you. I was quiet for a long time, because the truth was, I didn't want to lose her either. But sometimes, letting someone go is the only way they'll learn to appreciate what they have. I'm not shutting you out, Ava, I said finally, but I need you to show me you understand. I need you to show me you can stand on your own and make things right. It's not just about saying sorry. It's about doing something. It's about proving you're ready to fix what you broke. There was a pause. Then, in a small voice, Ava said, I will, Mom. I swear. I'll do whatever it takes. That was the turning point. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't a quick fix. But it was a start. And that's all I could give her. All I could offer was the chance to make it right. It's funny, isn't it? How quickly things can change. 1 minute, you're the person who's holding everything together, doing your best for your kid, and the next minute, you're the one being pushed away, discarded, like you never mattered. That was me. At least that's what Ava made me feel like when she rejected me, when she said George was her real father. I spent days replaying those words over and over in my head. I didn't even know who I was anymore. I wasn't just a mother to her. I was a fallback plan, an afterthought. But of course, she wasn't done with me yet. Because once reality hit, once she realized George wasn't this perfect father figure, she wanted me back. And sure enough, after a few days of silence, she called. I didn't answer at first, but then I heard the message, and I couldn't just ignore it. Ava's voice on the voicemail. Mom, I messed up. I know I messed up. Please, please don't shut me out. I was wrong. I was wrong about everything. I need you. Please, I'm sorry. I sat there staring at the phone in my hand, feeling like the air had been sucked out of the room. For a second, it was like I was back in the days when she was just a little girl, the one who needed me for everything. But now? Now, I wasn't sure. Was it too late? Could I forgive her for how easily she walked away from me? I called her back. Ava, I said when she picked up, I'm here. She was silent for a long moment, then her voice cracked. I'm so sorry, Mom. I was just so confused. George made me feel like I mattered. I thought he was better, but I see now I was wrong. I was an idiot. I'm sorry, Mom. Please. I had to stop myself from cutting her off. I wanted to tell her she couldn't just come back into my life after what she said, but I didn't. Instead, I let her talk, let her plead her case. Finally, I said, Ava, you can't just hurt people and expect them to fix everything. I don't want to be your fallback, your backup plan. You made your choice. You wanted him to be your father. Well, now you've got to deal with the consequences. Ava was crying now, and it broke my heart. I know, and I'm sorry, I was stupid. I know I can't just fix it by saying sorry. But please don't shut me out, Mom. I don't know what to do without you. And that was the thing. I didn't want to shut her out. I wanted to hold her and tell her it was going to be okay. But that wasn't the lesson she needed to learn. Not this time. I'm not shutting you out, Ava, I said, my voice softer than I intended. But you have to understand that it's not just about saying sorry. You've hurt me, you've rejected me, and you need to understand the weight of that. She was silent, and for a long time I thought she'd hang up on me. But then she whispered, I get it. I'll make it right, Mom. I promise. I'll do whatever it takes. Please don't give up on me. And there it was. I didn't know what making it right looked like yet, but I wasn't going to turn my back on her. Not completely. So I agreed to meet her the next day. The next morning, I opened the door, and there she was, Ava, standing on my doorstep with those big, sad eyes, the ones I knew so well. She was trying to hold it together, but I could see the shame in her, the guilt. I know I've hurt you, Mom. I'm sorry, she said quietly as she stepped inside. I didn't say anything at first. I just let her sit there, her shoulders hunched, her face softening. It broke me to see her like that. But I wasn't going to make it easy for her. She needed to earn this. So, what now? I asked. Ava hesitated before answering. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I want to prove to you that I can be the daughter you raised me to be. I want to fix this, Mom. I'll do whatever it takes. And that was the turning point, wasn't it? I didn't know if she could fix this. I didn't know if she could ever fix it. But hearing her say it, that was something. She was at least taking responsibility, and for now, that was enough. I still wasn't ready to just throw open my arms and tell her it was all okay, but I wasn't going to slam the door on her either. She wasn't my backup plan, and neither was I hers, but we both had to figure out how to rebuild what had been broken. The next few days after that conversation felt strange. Ava and I were no longer the tight-knit team we once were, and I wasn't sure how to approach her anymore. She'd made her choice, rejected me, and I'd pulled away. But now she was back, apologetic, trying to make things right. And honestly, I didn't know if I was ready to let her back in fully. I kept myself busy. Work, chores, anything to stop thinking about what Ava was doing, how she was handling everything. I tried not to check my phone constantly, but when it buzzed, I'd always find myself looking at it. Was it her? I still didn't know if I should reach out. I didn't want to rush into anything. She needed to show me she understood the weight of her words, that she wasn't just apologizing to make things easier for herself. But deep down, I knew there was something in her voice when she apologized that told me she wasn't just saying it. She really did get it. Then came the first sign that she was truly trying. It was a Sunday morning. I was sipping my coffee, trying to enjoy the quiet of the house when I heard the doorbell ring. I wasn't expecting anyone, so I stood up, a little confused. When I opened the door, there she was, Ava, standing on the doorstep, looking a little nervous, but also determined. Mom, she said, holding up a small grocery bag, I made you breakfast. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Here was this girl, the one who hadn't even looked at me the way a daughter should in so long, and now she was standing there, offering me eggs and bacon like we were living in some perfect little family sitcom. I could see the effort in her eyes, though. She wasn't just trying to make things right. She was trying to show me she was serious. You didn't have to do that, I said, stepping aside so she could come in, but she was already moving past me. I know, she said, looking down at the floor, but I want to. I know I've hurt you, Mom, and I want to do something to show you I'm trying. I watched her set the plate down on the kitchen counter, her hands shaking slightly. The sight of her, trying so hard, doing something as simple as making me breakfast, brought back so many memories. Of when she was little, when she'd mess up in school, or hurt herself on the playground, and I'd always be there to make things better. She was trying to make things better now, but it wasn't going to be that easy. You don't have to fix this with breakfast, I said, my voice soft but firm. I need to see actions, Ava, not just words. You've hurt me. And I'm not going to just forgive you because you bring me a plate of eggs. You need to prove you can stand on your own, that you can make things right. This is just a start. She nodded, her eyes filled with a mixture of guilt and determination. I know, Mom, I'm not asking you to forgive me right away. I'm just asking you to give me a chance to show you I can be the daughter you raised. The daughter who doesn't take you for granted. For a moment, I just stood there, staring at her. I didn't know if I was ready to trust her again, to believe she could make up for everything she'd done. But one thing was clear. She was trying. She wasn't running away anymore. All right, I said finally, taking a deep breath. But it's not just about me. You need to prove this to yourself too. Prove to yourself that you're capable of making good decisions. And prove that you're ready to take responsibility for the mess you created. She swallowed hard but nodded, determination in her eyes. I will, Mom. I swear. I'll prove it. I'll show you I can fix this. I didn't know if I fully believed her yet, but for the first time in a long time, I had a little hope. The next few weeks were full of awkward conversations, strained silences, and moments that left both of us questioning where we stood. Ava tried to make things right, offering to help around the house, bringing over dinner, even apologizing to George when she saw him, acknowledging the hurt she had caused there too. But things were still tense. They weren't fixed overnight. I didn't expect them to be. I still couldn't forget what she'd said. I still couldn't forget how easily she had cast me aside for someone who wasn't even there when she needed him. But seeing her try, seeing her slowly earn back my trust, made me realize something. Healing takes time. Trust takes time. One night we sat down together, just the two of us. Ava was on the couch, her eyes serious but calm. Mom, she said softly, I know I've hurt you. I'll never be able to take that back, but I'm not going to stop trying. I want to show you I can be the daughter you need me to be. I want to show you that I'm not the girl who threw everything away just for the sake of an illusion. I looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time in a while. The girl who had walked away, the one who rejected me so easily, was still there, but she wasn't the same. She had changed. Maybe not fully, but enough. I'm not going to forgive you overnight, I said quietly, but I'm willing to try again. And that's more than I thought I could do. Ava smiled softly, the weight of the moment hanging between us. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy. But it was progress, and progress was all I could ask for. It's funny how things can change in the blink of an eye, but it's even stranger how time works its way through the messes we make. It doesn't fix everything, but it offers a chance to breathe, to think, to rebuild. And after the past few weeks with Ava, I started to feel like maybe we could rebuild. Maybe we could get back to something close to what we once had. Ava was still trying, still showing up, coming over with groceries, offering to help around the house, even making the attempt to spend time with George. It wasn't perfect, far from it, but there were moments, small, quiet moments where I could see the girl I raised, the one who loved me and who I knew would never intentionally hurt me. It felt like we were both learning to trust again, but there were no shortcuts, no quick fixes. I had to be patient. One evening, as I was finishing up dinner, Ava sat down at the table, looking a little more grown up than she had in the past. Maybe it was the way she held herself now, a little more serious, a little less carefree. There was a weight to her now, one she hadn't had before. I wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not, but it was a thing. It was something. Mom, she started, her voice quieter than usual. I've been thinking a lot lately, about everything. I set down my fork, waiting for her to continue. This was new territory for us, and I wasn't sure if I was ready for another emotional moment, but I knew this conversation was coming. Eventually. I don't want to live with regrets anymore, Ava said, her gaze fixed on her plate. I spent so much time focusing on what I thought I wanted, and I never stopped to think about what really mattered. And I don't want to be the kind of person who walks away from the people who love her just because I'm too busy chasing the wrong things. She looked up at me then, her eyes soft but searching, like she was waiting for me to say something, to tell her how to feel, how to respond. But I couldn't. I didn't have the words. All I could do was nod. I get it, I finally said, keeping my voice steady, trying not to get too emotional. It's a process, Ava, and it's going to take time. But I appreciate you saying that. You don't know how much it means to me. She gave a small, relieved smile, and we both fell into a quiet for a few moments. Not an uncomfortable silence, but one of understanding. The kind of silence that comes when you know the other person has heard you, really heard you, and they don't need to fill the space with empty words. A few days later, I found myself standing in the kitchen again, trying to figure out how to make the best of the situation. Ava had been quieter lately, which worried me. I wasn't sure if she was struggling with guilt or if she was just trying to figure out how to heal on her own. But I knew one thing. She was making an effort to show me that she could be the daughter I always knew she was capable of being. Then came another surprise. She showed up at my door one morning with a letter in hand. She began, her voice nervous. I wanted to tell you in person. I looked down at the envelope she was holding. It was addressed to both me and George. I applied to college, she said, her voice thick with uncertainty. I wasn't sure if I should, but I decided I needed to start thinking about my future. I don't want to be stuck in the same place forever. I want to make something of myself. I took the letter from her, my heart swelling with pride. It wasn't just about college, about the application. It was the fact that she was thinking ahead, that she was choosing something for herself that was real, something that would make her better, not just a way to escape or live someone else's dream. I didn't say anything at first, just opened the letter, reading the words aloud. Dear Ms. Foster, we are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted into the undergraduate program in environmental science at State University. I looked up at her, and she was standing there, biting her lip, waiting for my reaction. Congratulations, I said, my voice steady, but my eyes filling with tears. I knew you could do this. You've always had it in you, Ava. I'm so proud of you. She let out a shaky laugh, her face flushed with relief. I was worried you wouldn't be happy about it. I know things have been complicated. Things have been complicated, I said, my smile soft. But you've worked hard for this, and it's your future. You don't need anyone's permission to move forward with it. We stood there, in that moment, understanding each other in a way we hadn't in a long time. There was no easy fix. There was no magic moment when everything was suddenly healed. But I knew in that second that we were on the right path. She was figuring things out, and I was figuring out how to forgive her. The next few weeks passed with more ups and downs than I cared to count. But the one thing that stayed constant was that Ava was trying, and I was trying. That was enough, for now. I wasn't ready to let go of the past, and she wasn't ready to forget it either. But we were working on it, and for the first time in a long time, I was hopeful. One evening, as I tucked her in, I stood at the door of her room and said, Ava, you've made mistakes. I've made mistakes, but we're still family, and that's something no one can take away. She looked up at me, a small smile playing at the corner of her lips. Thanks, Mom. I won't screw this up again. I promise. And that was enough.